and welcome to Zambia 2026 General Elections Program. My name is Victor Mwila. As Zambia prepares for the general elections on the 13th of August 2026, many important milestones have already been achieved in the electoral process. From voter registration and inspection of the voters' register to the creation of new constituencies and the successful filing of nominations, the country is now steadily moving towards polling day. But where exactly are we on the Electoral Commission of Zambia's roadmap? What has been accomplished so far? And what should voters expect in the weeks ahead? In this first edition of the Zambia 2026 General Elections Program, we speak to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, Chief Electoral Officer Brown Kasaro, who provides an update on the electoral roadmap, preparations for the elections, and the measures being put in place to ensure a peaceful, credible, and transparent electoral process. Here is Mr. Kasaro on how far the Commission has progressed in implementing the electoral roadmap.
Yeah, so the roadmap, just to give a background, was released in July 2024. And the major milestones in there was that we committed to the nation that we're going to conduct voter registration in 2025. That we undertook, we did. Then we committed to the nation that come first quarter of 2026, we will take the provisional register, or we will take the register out there for inspection to all the polling stations. That we did. We did commit that come end of April, we are going to certify the register. So we did certify on 1st May. Now the nation knows the number of registered voters, that is 8,786,000 plus voters that are eligible to cast their votes come August 13th. Now, further to that, in December last year, the Constitution was amended. So we adjusted the roadmap to accommodate, because one of the key aspects of that amendment was the introduction of 70 new constituencies. So we adjusted the roadmap and indicated to stakeholders that come by April, by mid-April, we would have done the delimitation. So that the Commission was able to inform the nation on 15th April that these are the outcome of the delimitation. So that was done. The next key step on the roadmap was nominations. So this is a process where candidates come forward to contest, to file their nomination papers to contest the various elective positions. So these were successfully conducted from 18th May to 22nd May 2026. So this is where we have been in terms of the roadmap and what we have been able to achieve so far. Yeah.
Thank you for staying with us on Zambia 2026 General Elections Program. The Electoral Commission of Zambia says it has successfully implemented several key activities outlined in its electoral roadmap up to the nomination process. With campaigns now underway across the country, attention is now shifting towards voter education, stakeholder engagement, and preparations for polling day. So what mechanisms has the Commission put in place to manage potential disputes, promote peaceful campaigns, and ensure voters receive accurate information as election day draws closer? Here, once again, is ECZ Chief Electoral Officer Brown Kasaro.
So what we have done, probably as part of the strategies to forestall any of these issues that may come up, is that immediately after the nominations, on the Saturday of the 23rd May, what we did was in the respective constituencies or indeed districts, our officials met with all the candidates that had successfully filed, to develop what are called campaign timetables. So essentially what we're saying is you pick a constituency, for example, let's pick one of the new ones, Roma. Okay, constituency. So the candidates that are contesting in Roma constituency sat down and said, we have this period. Where will you be holding your public meetings, say week 1, week 2, week 3, so that then they allocate themselves areas where they would be holding their public meetings, which we refer to as rallies, for this entire period, so that then there's that coordination and to avoid the same venue being selected or chosen on the same date. Yeah. Now, those meetings are also attended by Zambia police. So those then become like the notification to the police. So beyond that, they don't need to notify the police. That's notification enough that they'll be campaigning in this particular. So that then provided a platform for which there's equitable access to all areas of the constituency to manage the campaigns in a peaceful way. Yeah. Beyond that, rather prior to that, each of these political parties did, as part of the nomination process, so the candidates themselves and their sponsoring parties where they are sponsored, did undertake by way of swearing a declaration, signing a declaration of compliance to the Electoral Code of Conduct. So all these were measures that were put in place to ensure that the campaigns are as peaceful as possible. And we are also beginning to have liaison committee meetings in these districts, so that then there can be that information sharing and indeed discussion of any emerging issues in the respective districts as the campaigns continue to go on. We have another mechanism that we've put in place, which has kicked in now with the nomination coming in place, which we refer to as conflict management committees for purposes of resolution of minor dispute. As campaigns go on, disputes will arise because it's the nature of human nature, really, especially that we're dealing with a competition. So we have conflict management committees in all the districts whose membership includes the political parties themselves, the police, civil society, and indeed our own officers through the councils that I earlier mentioned, that then once an issue arises, a dispute arises, they can sit around the table and see how that can be resolved so that it does not escalate into anything that would be regrettable. Yeah. Starting June 1st June, we're deploying what we call voter education facilitators. So we're deploying officers of the Electoral Commission in each and every ward across the country for them to sensitize the community on the upcoming election. What is it all about? And so that is arming the community with correct information from the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Beyond that, we'll also be launching a media campaign so that we can disseminate as much information as possible about elections and about what has happened, all aspects around the elections, in terms of what are the voting procedures, what are they expecting come election day in the voting room, who's contesting, and what at presidential, National Assembly, local government, the delimitation that we spoke about, what are the implications to the average voter. So all that is one of the strategies that we are putting in place. So come 1st June, we're launching our media campaign, whose theme, by the way, is Count Me In. So we'd like everyone to count themselves in and participate and cast their vote come August 13th. Yeah. Now, in talking about our media campaign, is that we have platforms as the Electoral Commission, the official platforms, beyond these opportunities that we have, like this program, beyond and other programs on other media platforms. We have our own in terms of electronic platforms, our Facebook page and so on, and our website, where the stakeholders out there can verify this information, because people can make certain pronouncements, but they can cross-check those facts by going to our official pages, and ultimately also reach out to the Commission through our corporate affairs team and cross-check these issues. So really, and also we are monitoring through with other stakeholders. There's an initiative that we have launched called I Verify with other stakeholders, civil society, and through the support of the United Nations Development Program, where we these articles that any stories that may come up that are misleading will be flagged to be false, and so that then the people out there can be confident as to what is the truth in respect to the conduct of the elections as we go towards 13th August. The collaboration with the security wings is multifaceted, but let me speak, for example, to the police. So in terms of our collaboration with the police, so that collaboration starts with the planning. For example, the nomination process that we've just had, we sat down and planned together because we knew our stations of operation when it came to nominations. So they were aware of all the stations in which we're going to operate as an institution. So I'll break down the numbers, for example. National, for the presidential, we had one center, the Mulungushi. For National Assembly, we had 226 nomination centers. For the mayors, 116. For the councillors elections, 1,800 plus. All this we planned together with them, and they were able to deploy adequate personnel, not only to protect the staff of the commission, the process, but also the voter and the stakeholder or the candidate and their supporters as they were coming to file their nominations. So similarly, as we go towards the election, we continue to collaborate with them so that as we distribute our materials, for example, that we ensure that there's security there. But most importantly, come election day, that the registered voter out there can wake up on poll day and confidently walk to or get to the polling station and not worry about any insecurity. They know that they can go to a polling station and they'll be able to cast their vote in peace and get back home. Yeah, so we are working with them around the clock to plan and indeed at the point of implementation. So the citizens out there can rest assured on the basis that the Commission has demonstrated through the various stages of the roadmap so far that it's been able to implement the processes as outlined in the law. So I'll give an example of the delimitation. There was a lot of apprehension. You know, is this going to be fair? Is this going to be equitable? The Commission released the outcome, and the citizens were able to testify that the Commission undertook this exercise in compliance with the law, but beyond the compliance, that the Commission took great effort to engage stakeholders, to engage the citizens, so that then the outcome is a representation of the will of the people. We have just come from a nomination process that again we made an undertaking that here we are, we're going to do this and make sure that we accord every aspiring candidate an opportunity to file. In the roadmap, for example, we had committed that we were going to hold nominations for National Assembly and Mayor over a single day. But submissions were made from stakeholders, and we were able to extend that within that period. For example, National Assembly over 3 days, Mayor and Council Chairperson over 2 days. But within that, every aspiring candidate was given an opportunity to file, and including the presidential itself. We did assure the nation that we're going to conduct this over 5 days, and the Commission was going to be on hand to receive. So I think the nation, it was publicized, it was live on a lot of platforms, that those that were able to file their nominations with the returning officer, the decision that people could identify with. I think of the 15 that filed, only one was rejected, and the reason was very clear as outlined in the law. So that is the basis upon which we are saying, as you listen to the discourse around this campaign, and those that may unfortunately wish to lower your levels of confidence, please look back at what has the Commission been able to do, and has it performed in compliance with the law? Has it, and that has been demonstrated. So we're saying, based on that evidence, rest assured and wait patiently, listen to the campaigns, make up your mind in terms of who you would want to vote for, and get your documents ready. If you're registered voters, your voter's card, your national registration card, keep them safe, get them ready. Come August 13th, walk to the polling stations where you're registered to vote and go and cast your ballot. You know the institution that has been mandated to manage these elections will ensure that your vote will count for what you have, the choice you have made. On Wednesday, again, we'll meet with stakeholders to discuss accreditation, to discuss early warning system, and to discuss other technology platforms that we're going to employ in the electoral process come election day. On Friday, we're going to have another engagement where we'll discuss the Electoral Process Amendment Act and speak to the clauses in there, especially as it relates to proportional representation. This law was only assented to mid-May. So we needed the nominations to take place and identify those that qualify, so parties that have sponsored candidates at presidential election level. So we'll meet with them and other stakeholders and say, look, this is what the implications of this law are. We're not limiting that sensitization to them, but our voter education officers that I alluded to earlier also carry this message to the masses. But here I'm speaking in the context of an engagement. Yeah, so that demonstrates. So this is just week 2 of the campaign period. We're already having 3 engagement meetings. So we'll continue to engage and update as we go forward. Now that the nominations are done, what is the commission doing? And besides what I mentioned about voter education and so forth, is that we are now processing that information in readiness for the printing of the ballot papers. So as we process that information, we'll keep the nation informed. Shortly, within the next few days, we'll publish the nomination outcomes, okay, in terms of who's contesting in which constituency, for example, and in which ward and so forth. All that information will be shared. And as we go towards the beginning, which is probably towards the end of June, when we'll commence the printing of ballots, we inform the nation. So all these are engagements that we've lined up going forward so that at every stage of the process, our stakeholders are following and are able to see the progress we're making, ensure that we're ready for 13th August 2026.
Thank you for watching Zambia 2026 General Elections program. We were featuring the Electoral Commission of Zambia, Chief Electoral Officer Brown Kasaro. As Zambia moves closer to the 13th of August 2026 general elections, the Electoral Commission of Zambia says stakeholder engagement, voter education, and continuous public communication remain central to its preparations. The Commission has also assured the nation that it will continue providing updates on important electoral activities, including voter education, ballot printing, accreditation, and other processes leading up to polling day. For voters, the message is clear. Stay informed, verify information through official ECZ platforms, keep your voter's card and national registration card NRC safe, and be ready to participate in shaping the country's future. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Victor Mwila. Thank you for watching Zambia 2026 General Elections program. Until next time, it's bye for now.